Hi, and thank you for joining us today on the Road to Recovery. I'm your host, Ronda Jackson, serial entrepreneur and small business advocate. And I just want to make sure that people understand that this is not a chit-chatty talk show. We are here to educate, to create agility and economic sustainability. And one of our guests today is Miss Amanda Ma. How are you, Amanda?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, you're so welcome. I appreciate you being here. And Amanda and I were discussing in some earlier conversations culture within your business, which is a very timely topic considering all the civil unrest. And I'm going to call it racial awareness, that there's a heightened sensitivity to the various cultures. And Amanda is a culture expert, an experience expert. She is the Chief Experience Officer of Innovate Marketing Group. Amanda, for those of us that haven't met you before, will you share a little bit about you and your company?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet all of you. Chiming in from Los Angeles today. We're an events agency based in Los Angeles, and we do a lot of different experiences from conferences to grand opening to influencer event. Some of our clients include TikTok, Toyota, Honda. You may heard of them. We just love building experiences and bring joy to people. That's what we do.
I love that, bringing joy. So one of the things that I also like to do from our guests is, what's one word you would use to describe now? What would be your one word?
Pivot.
Okay. All right. Why pivot? What makes you say that word?
So, when COVID happened, right, we're in the events business, which is all about in-person, meeting in person, and that completely changed because everybody's on quarantine. So we literally had to pivot to virtual event.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So changing the way we think about our business to fit the current environment. I could see that happening. I could see
Definitely. Yeah,
that.
it's innovate or it won't work.
Yes, no, that's beautiful. But I do want to acknowledge you were the recent recipient of an award. You were named one of the top 100 event, companies in the U.S., if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations. Congratulations. So
Thank you.
I just want the emerging and established entrepreneurs that are joining us to understand that we're getting these business best practices from tried and true award-winning experts. So thank you again for being here today, Amanda. To start our conversation about culture in our companies, where would you recommend that we start? So we're, entrepreneurs of all shapes and sizes, different industries. How do we start if we want to really be aware and cognizant of the culture of our company? Where should we start?
I would say it starts with the business owner,
Okay.
right? So you have to be very open and communicative about your intention and that you're mindful of the people, whether it's the people you hire or the vendors you use,
Got it.
right? So with diversity comes with a lot of added values, and we
Yes.
love that. Yeah.
Yes, I like that. So then your company then is reflective of your values, even in the physical sense, is what you're saying, by the people and the teams that we build?
Definitely, yeah. So if you look at the dynamics of our team, we have, Asians, Caucasians, like different nationality, and I love that, right? Because everybody bring in different culture that they can share. They have different ideas. So by that, it actually grows our, capacity in terms of our experience agency, right? Like recently, a client reached out. They want to do a Latino Heritage Month. Guess what? Who we reach out to on our team? Like, what do you guys do at home?
Right.
So yeah, and then we're doing Asian History Month or African American History Month. We have someone to go to and ask about those different, background and culture.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like that you also want to create a richer experience for someone, for a client, as they're asking for these things from you, whether that's their heritage or they're, as a corporation, acknowledging that heritage for their staff or their team members. That's
Yes,
beautiful.
definitely.
That's beautiful. So then let's talk about that for a second. Diversity and inclusion, what does it look like for you? Like, what are some of the values and the inter corporate values that you guys model?
So I love that here. First of all, we reflect for internal and then externally,
Okay.
right? So you see it in our team, and even our clients have complimented on how diverse our team is. right? Even though I'm Asian, but I don't just hire Asian people. We're equal opportunity employer, and we hire based on talent, and then also the different culture background just again adds to the dynamic of the company. And when we put together our events, we also always remind the client to keep that in mind, right? So perhaps when they're putting together the event, like whether it's a conference, to make sure the topic is also inclusive. The panel, especially when it comes to a panel, I don't want to just see all men, all white men on the panel. We say, hey, how about some diversity? Put in some woman in there, put in some other nationality, right? Mix it up. And our clients love that. So if you look at a lot of our previous events, you'll see is actually a very diverse panel, and that's very intentional.
Okay. And that's very strong and confident of you to share that with your corporates, to share that with the organizations that you are conscious of it in the way that they're projecting themselves as a customer. So that's actually really wonderful of you. That's very wonderful. Earlier in the conversation, you mentioned about communication. Can you talk a little bit about what that internal communication looks like to your team around diversity, around culture building?
Sure. I mean, I'm a big believer that communication is key, right? If you don't communicate to your team, how would they know that diversity is big for you? We are a certified agency for minority, for women, but at the same time, it's not just about being certified in those areas, but what we want to attract, right? The talent we want to attract, and then making sure they know what I stand for as a company and as a person. Right. So this is what we're looking. So it's very intentional. They know intentionally, like, look, this is what we're all about. And we have a lot of people that apply here because they say it's a woman owned, and they love that.
Nice. So that, I mean, that's even something to tout, right? That you seem to build a team around people supporting the bigger mission, the bigger vision of your company, which is, in addition to doing really good work and putting on and producing very wonderful events, you have a message that people can believe in and they can get behind. Is that what, do you agree with that?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's very important,
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
what's something actionable that business owners can do like today? So if I want to build culture, if I, want to look at my company through that lens, what's something actionable that I should do?
I would say, I mean, first in your hiring, right? So maybe look at where you're hiring, because the recruits, the people you tend to get submission from, but maybe it's putting it out there where you're also recruiting from a women's organization,
Mm,
right? Or another group, maybe they're like diverse. I sit on these different boards. I'm actually diversity inclusion chair for one of the organization. And for us, we're looking at the organization and saying, hey, there is 20% woman, 80% male. And for a lot of women entrepreneurs, it's actually quite scary coming into an organization was dominated by, it's almost seemed like a boys club, right? But it's not. But it's like, well, where are we recruiting members? Right. So maybe we need to. So one of the ideas I came up with is partnering more with women organizations and diverse organizations so that we can be more prominent in front of those organizations so people know about our organization.
yes. Oh, that's wonderful. So you're saying that the diversity comes also, now we're talking another circle, a ring out of the circle, is that we're looking at our networks. So if you're only in, communities that look like you and sound like you're not going to find that talent pool from those things. So you're saying to reach out and to diversify even who we interact with as leaders of our organization.
Correct. And then be mindful of what you put out there, right? So if you look at our social media, our website, you'll see it's very diverse.
Mm,
Because it's a perception, right? If I look at the website, it's all women, I just assume it's just all women,
right.
but if you put it where it's diverse, people see themselves and they're like, oh, sometimes, a lot of time when I look at ads, I see a diverse family, right? Or I see someone that looks like me and I say, hey, this is relevant to me.
Right.
Like, how are you connecting that way?
I love that. I love that. Have you had to change your marketing materials in light of the current conversation, or was it something already incorporated into your organization?
I would say we're grateful that it's actually already in our culture. So
Hmm.
I think, I know for a fact a lot of companies are transforming, which is really great. They're trying to incorporate more D&I initiatives. For us, it's been there from the beginning, and it's we're just cultivating that year after year. So we didn't really have to change much.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, I appreciate you sharing. And if people are interested in creating a very inclusive and wonderful virtual or in-person experiences, how would they connect with you? How do we get in touch with you?
Check out our website. You could just go to www.innovatemkg.com, and then you'll see our fabulous events listed there.
I love it. And then the best way to contact you. Thank you, Miss Amanda. I appreciate you joining us for this conversation. Just so timely and so relevant. And I thank you for the reminder for us to look within. So, and diversity isn't just a conversation for the outward and for customers and clients, but also internally in our organization. So thank you for being a part of this today.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So this is great information, Amanda. So if I'm looking within my organization to build and infuse culture and kind of maybe even just shift, if I'm in a place where I don't have enough diversity, what are some things that I can do?
There's so many ideas. Let's see what we start with. We recently did even internal team, because we do this for a living for other people. We also want to make sure we do this internally for our own Innovate Marketing Group culture. So we actually did a Lego team building with the entire team, and it was so much fun. We carved out an hour. The first 45 minutes is just building the Lego, and it's not hard. I think a lot of people ask me that. It's like a little Lego for a 6-year-old, and then the team member could actually invite their family, like if they have kids, to build it. So I actually also included my kids.
Nice.
So my 5-year-old was on it, and I told my team, guys, let's not let my 5-year-old beat us, right? Because I have prizes for the winners who are like top 3. But it was super fun, and it was just time for bonding. You hear these conversations while people are building, because again, it's not a hard activity, but it's really fun and unique.
Yeah, so you have built up that engagement, you've created a team environment, and you have something happy to share. You're creating happy memories, that experience, like your business space. It's about experiences.
Definitely.
That is so wonderful. Okay, so if there are other business owners or corporations that want to create these type of conversations within their organization or facilitate events, what's the best way to contact you?
You can reach out to me on our website at www.innovatemkg.com. And right now we're working on a cocktail and comedy and building these margarita kits. So call us soon, because they're pretty popular. We're getting a lot of rave reviews from all of them.
Oh, lovely. Well, save me 1 or 2, please. Thank you. Thank you so much, Amanda. This conversation, I can't tell you how relevant, and I am sure this is going to help many, many, many business owners, for the established or the emerging entrepreneurs that just want to take their business into overdrive. Thank you for joining us on the road to recovery.
Thank you. My pleasure.